Our class today will review the following questions 2025. We will look at selected questions, if not all. So question 1 reads, discuss in detail with practical examples any 5 functions performed by the global financial system. So we looked at the global financial system as being a framework that will facilitate the flow of capital or credit across international borders. So it's a complex network of institutions, of markets, and of regulations. So um, the five key functions that we looked at, we made a formula. Okay, we made a formula. The five, we said 4PT. So those that remember, just to remind you, okay, on these ones. Just to quicken our understanding, number one has to do with the payment system, first P. So this is a system that is most fundamental. It is in providing mechanisms for safe and efficient payment system between the parties to settle what? Transactions. So in Zambia, we can use a practical example. You are using a Zanapco debit card to pay for groceries at ShopRite. So initiating funds from your account. So a Zambian mining company like FQM is paying an Australian supplier. So the payment can be processed using Swift network. So this will involve commercial banks, Stanbic, central bank, etc. So the role of the financial management system is in what? Payment system function, the first P. The second P we said is to do with pooling of what? Resources. Pooling resources or savings. So the financial system brings together these small scattered savings from various individuals to a pool account of capital, and then breaks it down into divisible projects like building a factory, smaller, affordable shares on stock market. So second P is that of what? Pooling resources. A practical example is the money market, for instance, offered by a securities exchange to pull funds from thousands of customers in Zambia who buy denominations of treasury bills. Okay, the other P is what? The other P is providing price information. So financial markets are there to provide information for decision making. So there's continuous trading that happens in the securities. So that financial system is there to present prices as a signal to help channel these um, capitals to productive areas. So let's go through the first P. What did we say? P1 was what? Payment processing. P2 was what? P2 was what? Pool of funds. P3 was what? Price information. Okay. Price information. It is through providing price information that markets are able to process and make decision making. All right. Then we also have the financial system working as a risk mechanism. It is used to hedge against what? Risks. So the price risks, the credit risks, currency risks, it is through this market that you could mitigate those risks and transfer of economic resources in real time. So these are the 5 functions that we talked about. Risk, okay, and transfer of funds in real time. Right. So that is what we looked at. Now let's go to the second question. Somebody's writing on my board. I'm trying to delete this, but I think it's not coming out. Question number 2. A treasury bill of 20 million has a face value valid for 91 days that will be redeemed at 20 million. This 3-month yield at a time with an issue of 5.25. Calculate the price, the issue price using a 365-day calendar. Okay, so how do we calculate the value of a treasury bill? How do we calculate the value of the treasury bill? So treasury bills, we know these are discounted instruments. They're used and actually issued below the face value. They're issued at a discount. So the investor, their return is in the difference between the purchase price and the what? The face value, which is received at maturity. Okay. So the issue price, who remembers the formula of the issue price? How do we calculate the issue price of a treasury bill? Issue price is got what? Face value is Kim here. Yes, Kim, what is the formula for issue price? Cecilia?
I haven't mastered it, so sorry.
We've been doing this. Okay. Who remembers? One minus RT over the time. In this case, we've been given 365. What have we been given in this question? 20 is what? A face value. Time is what? 91 days. Uh, Rate here is what? 5.25. And our base is 365. So what do we have? 20 million. 1 minus 0 point what? 0 0.025. 0.525 times our time, 91 divided by 365. Okay, what do we get? Calculate for me. What are we getting? 19,738,219. 19 million. I'd remove the zeros there. 700 and what? And 38 to 19. This is how we calculate the issue price of treasury bill. Okay, the issue price of a treasury bill. All right, together. I gave you different formulas that you can use depending on how the question has been phrased. Okay, so we had looked at this question in a different way. The yield can come down there. Give you a formula where the yield can come down. The answer is still the same. So whatever um, we talked about is talking about the same thing. Okay. Any questions? Right. So there are no questions. Am I audible? Somebody cannot hear me. Is it me alone or maybe my network?
Maybe it's from our side. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So we can do another question on the treasury bills. I really need you to understand, especially treasury bills, they don't miss. Okay. Please adjust your network. So treasury bills, I mentioned to you to say, depending on what is easy for you. Last time I'd used the issue price for treasury bills as what? Price, face value over 1 plus yield times time. I don't know if I remember that. It's time. So we still get the same answer there. All right, over base here. So if our face value is 20 million, 2, 3, 4, then we have 1 plus our yield, in this case is 5%, 0.025, 0 point what? 525, because this is 5.25% times 91 over what? 365. So when you calculate this, you still get the same answer in that context, which is 19,738 to 19. So this is the formula that we use when we are calculating the issue price. So discuss any 5 financial securities that are traded in the financial market. We've been talking about what are they? 5 securities that are traded in the financial market. CCTBR. CCTBR. What are these ones? Commercial paper.
Commercial paper.
Mm-hmm. Negotiable certificate of deposit, the treasury bill. The B stands for what? Bankers' acceptances and the repos. So C for the commercial paper. What is a commercial paper? It is simply unsecured short-term instrument that is issued by large firms that are creditworthy. So usually only creditworthy corporations use this to raise funds for meeting their short-term obligations like accounts payable, inventory purchases, and typically it's issued at a discount of up to about 270 days. There's negotiable certificates of deposit. It's a time deposit that is issued or sold by a bank or a financial institution that would pay a specific interest rate for a set period. So it is a receipt, in fact, for funds that have been deposited for a fixed term. So CDs are usually issued by banks and are held by wealthy individuals or institutional investors. So they are less liquid than savings, but they are a higher interest rate. So CC. Then T is for Treasury bill. The Treasury bill is a short-term instrument that is issued by government to finance its short-term liabilities. So when government issues TBs, they are issued at a discount to mature at par value, and the difference represents the interest is what the investor will get. So these are considered to be the safest money market instruments. They are backed by full faith and credit of the government. So the government cannot default. Zambia, we have the Bank of Zambia. It usually regularly issues its TBs on behalf of the central government to raise short-term funding. So commercial banks, pension funds, corporations are the primary investors. We call them the big boys. Then BA is simply a banker's acceptance, which we are talking about. It's a short-term debt instrument where the bank will guarantee payment as a guarantor to finance international trade. So a BA is created when the bank accepts a time draft, and this time draft is drawn on its own by a customer. So all these notes are there in my videos. We listen to them in depth. Every document I talked about it at length. So it is the acceptance that makes this time draft a negotiable instrument that can be what? Discounted or sold in the money market. So here, mainly it's the bank's guarantee that will eliminate the credit risk because banks are known to be credible. If you want to import something from China, so as an importer, you can arrange a BA with Absa Bank. So the bank will guarantee your payment to any Chinese exporter for a future payment. So here the exporter can simply sell the BA at a discount in the money market to get their cash immediately instead of waiting for you to make payments. So this is usually facilitated by a bank's strong credit worth. And ARA, which is a repo repurchase agreement, is simply a short-term loan where one party will sell a security like a government bond to another party with an agreement to say, I'll buy it back, but at a higher price because they want to use the money immediately. So the difference between the sale price and the repurchase price is where the interest is. That's why it's called a repos. It is a collateralized loan, and it is used for central banks to manage liquidity in the banking system. Are we together? Are we understanding? All right. So you can answer exam paper within 30 minutes. Discuss at least 6 forces affecting internationalization of the financial system. What are some of the 6 factors that affect internationalization? 6 forces. So internationalization is also called globalization. All right. So globalization of the financial system. This is where we are integrating interdependence of national financial markets. Zambia cannot operate alone. So this process has been shaped by several forces that have come. Okay, there are many forces that have come. So these forces can be summarize as follows. Um, we came up with a formula degree. So EIGRI. So what forces have forced most of these nations to come together to merging their financial markets? Why are they not operating independently? What is fostering the interdependence? So the first one is deregulation and liberalization. So many countries have dismantled controls in their capital markets. They have also relaxed the regulations that at some point once protected these domestic markets from foreign competition because um, of wanting to protect their own. That process was called what? Financial repression. So the impact of removing these bottlenecks or barriers, we can call them, or restrictions, they in turn brought in liberalization in the market and most of the countries came in. Okay, for instance, Zambia in the liberalization of the foreign exchange regime in 1990, it allowed for greater foreign portfolio investment on Lusaka Stock Exchange where we have investors who come. The I is innovation in financial products. So the continuous creation of new and complex financial instruments. These ones are facilitated international risk transfer and investment. So the impact here has been that the derivatives like the swaps, the options, the futures, all these have allowed multinational corporations to hedge cross-border risks. So the innovation in these products. So the other I, if you want to put them together, stands for um, talking about innovation. Okay. Then G is for globalization of trade. So globalization of trade, the massive growth in international trade in goods and services necessitates a parallel system for international payments and trade finance and hedging. So companies in Zambia, like trade kings, they can also expand their trade links. They may require sophisticated international banking services, so letters of credit from international banks, foreign exchange services, all these convert to revenues. So the question basically is trying to find out what factors have allowed for people to come in. Other factors could include the role that multinational companies have played in institutional investors. So these ones operate in multiple countries. So they will require what? A global reach. And they'll need to access finance in terms of cash. So financing, hedging services for large institutional investors becomes constantly imperative. Okay, so let's go back to question to do some calculation. Question number 2. Question number 2. Able to see my screen? Question number 2. Okay. A treasury bill with 10 million kwacha face value issued for 90 days will be redeemed on maturity at 10 million kwacha for 3 months at a yield of 5.25. Let's calculate the price of the bill. So how do we calculate the price? Anyone? Just from explaining this. What's the formula for the price of the TB? Uh-huh.
It's FV
Mm-hmm.
over 1 plus Y times T over B.
FV over 1 plus Y times T over what? B.
Over B.
Okay. So what do we have? Our face value is what? 10 million. Put the 10 here. What else are we given? Our yield is what? 5%, which is there. And our time is what? 3 months. Of course, it's shows 91, but I've given a specific date here. Over what? Three 65. We're not given there. Okay, so we're assuming it's a 365-day period. Yeah. So how then do we calculate the value of, we'll just compute that, isn't it? So when you compute that properly, you're going to get 9.872. 9.872. 9.872. 159.94. So the value of the treasury bill is less than the face value. That's a discount. 5 marks. Part B, a newly issued 3-month treasury bill with a par value of 10,000 was sold for 9,700. What is the treasury bill discount? Treasury bill discount. What is the treasury bill discount? How do we find the treasury bill discount? Who remembers? We first calculate the discount rate. So the treasury bill discount, we calculate the discount rate. The discount amount is simply the difference between the face value and the um, purchase price. So we calculate our discount rate, which is simply face value minus what? Price over face value. All right? And 360 over time. So on the small d, the discount rate is simply equal to face value minus what? Price over the face value times 360 over time. So what is our face value? Our par value, which is face value is the same as the par value. 10,000 minus 9,700 over 10,000 times 360 over our time. In this case is what? 3 months. Okay. Our time is 3 months. So assume it's about 90. All right. So when we compute this, what are we getting? We compute this, what are we getting? We're getting 12% or 0.12. So this is our discount rate. So we now need to calculate the discount value. Treasury bill discount is, it actually asks for a discount. Discount value is 12%. So we end here, 12%. The discount value is simply the difference between the par value and the selling price, which is 10,000 minus 9,700, which is 300. That's the discount value. Treasury bill discount is given by that. Okay. Are we together? So let's look at the next question. Next question is given by commercial paper. So we have a 60-day commercial paper, which has a nominal value of 100,000 and is issued at a discount of 7.5% per annum. Calculate the money market yield at the time of this issue. Money market yield. I explained the money market yield. There's a video specifically for money market yield. So how do we find the money market yield? So how do we find the money market yield? So we know if commercial paper is usually issued at a discount, then the price of a commercial paper is given by, the issue price of a commercial paper is given by what? Face value. It's almost the same formula here. Open brackets. 1 minus D, T over 360. So the price, our face value is what? 100,000. One minus the discount rate, 7%, 7.5%, times the time is a 60-day period, so 60 over 360. So this one will give us the issue price of the commercial paper. So when you compute that, you're going to get 98,750. This one we did it, and 8,750. Right. So at 8,750. So now how do we calculate the money market yield? The money market yield is a rate based on the price. So the rate is simply the face value minus the price that we've just calculated over price times 360 over time. So the market yield is simply F minus price calculated over price times 360 over time. So 360 is standard. So our face value is what? 100,000 minus the price that we just calculated and 8,750 over are we together? Are we together?
Yes, yes, yes. Following.
98,750 times 360 over our time. This is a 60-day commercial paper. So our money market yield in this case becomes what percentage? 7.5 or 7.6%. All right. So this is how we calculate our money market yield. All right. So how do we answer the last part? The steps for a banker's acceptance. Please follow the class for banker's acceptance. We explained all this. What are the steps so that remember? Banker's acceptance, that one you can read and follow through. So we end here. Thank you so much for your time. Share the recording later.